Ringside Raw TV with your host, Caesar Sherry.
Hey guys, welcome back for another episode, Ringside Raw TV, and it's all kicking off in the Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, Turki Al-Sheikh marriage. It's officially over. The divorce is being cemented as we speak. And I called this a few days back now. On Sunday, I released my first episode. And I said to you very clearly, this is bigger than Conor Benn betraying Eddie Hearn. And everyone was focused on Conor Benn betraying Eddie Hearn at the time. And what did I say? Forget about that. That's small fry to Eddie. This is bigger. Eddie and Frank were under the wing of Turki Al-Sheikh. They went to Saudi, they opened up the playbook, they gave all the contacts, they gave him all the know-how. And what did Turki do to Eddie? He took his number one fighter from the front and did it cold and did it publicly. Yeah. And what else did he do? He set up a competing promotions company, not with Eddie, not with Frank, but with Dana White and the Americans with the real money, the big money. He went to the next level. Didn't care. He pulled the rug and left him out in the cold. And what did I also say? Where is Frank Warren in all of this? Why is Frank Warren the only man in boxing who is sat quiet? Now, an old mentor of mine once told me, when times are quiet, prepare for war. And what's just happened? Frank Warren was sat quiet, gave no comments about anything that's going on, and what's just been released? He's now suing Turki Al-Sheikh's company for $1 billion in lost revenue because Turkey has now betrayed them. Now, we're going to get into that. There's a lot to unpack in that. But before we go any further forward, we just need to clarify a few things. The marriage is over. We all know what happens during divorces. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn right now are the women left out in the cold. The billionaire husband has dumped them. And so what's going to happen? Frank's shown his cards. He showed them already. He's going after the payday. He wants the payoff. He wants to disappear into the wind. Now, there's a reason for that, which he isn't quite saying yet. Yeah, but he started with $1 billion. All legal cases in America have to have a big number to start. Whenever you sue someone, you don't start with the number you actually want. You start with a crazy number. Eddie hasn't jumped on that bandwagon yet, but there's a reason for that. Yeah, but it doesn't mean he's not going to. What else is there? Zuffa. Let's just quickly go to the Zuffa boxing. What have they done? They've been out shopping. Those guys aren't messing about. What they've done, they've signed 96 fighters so far. They're not over. They're not finished. They're going to town. So who have they got? Most of the people, I don't even recognize their names. I couldn't tell you who they are. But they've got the Conor Benn. They've got Andy Ruiz. And they've got Shane Mosley. Okay. They're all questionable names. But they're going after everyone. And I said it in my last episode. Nobody is off the table right now. Yeah. And these guys have got the money to do it. They can fight the fight. They can go out and buy up fighters and continue on. You know, they're putting events up. The next event is beginning of March in Las Vegas. And guess what else they've done? Signed a $500 million 5-year deal with Paramount. These guys are, they're acting like they've been in this game forever, you know. Eddie Hearn couldn't pull this sort of stuff off. Frank Warren couldn't pull this off. You know, these guys have just walked into the market and they're acting like they own it. They own the game. And that's kind of what they're saying they're going to do. I mean, Dana White has already said he wants to eliminate all the other belts and make Zuffa belt the only relevant belt. Now, I get it. You know, it's clickbait, it's bold statements, doesn't mean anything, will amount to nothing for sure. You can't just wipe out all the traditional belts. But the takeaway is they came to play. And that's what they will be doing. Now, let's just get back to Frank Warren, because I've been very clear about this. Frank Warren is on his way out of boxing. I said this on Sunday, 3 days ago. Said it probably yesterday in my post. But Frank has only come to the come to the public arena now. After everything else that's going on, everyone's speaking, there's so much more going on out there. He's silent. But now Frank has come out publicly. Oh, he's upset because Turki Al-Sheikh promised that he was going to do the deal with him, or at least TKO and this other company were going to do the deal with Frank, and Frank's left out in the cold. Listen, Frank does not want to stay into boxing. He's finished with the sport. But what he wants is a nice payday on the way out. This is why Eddie Hearn hasn't joined up with this lawsuit just yet. Just yet, by the way. Because Eddie does have a contract with DAZN. So Eddie has fighters. He has TV rights. And so there is no reason for him to create any further bad blood just yet. Yeah, but it doesn't mean to say he doesn't still hold the right to join that lawsuit at any point in time. So Eddie can play the smart card. Let's wait to see how Frank Warren gets on with this situation. Frank is not looking for $1 billion. Let's be clear. That $1 billion is just a sensational number. It's like this. You go to McDonald's, you eat an apple pie, it burns your mouth. You put a case against them for $1 billion. Means nothing. You take 10 grand and you walk away. All right, Frank Warren's not taking 10 grand, right? But the logic is the same. You start high, you negotiate, you figure out your number to get lost, and you take it and you walk. That's what Frank is looking for. He wants his last hurrah from boxing, and he doesn't want to have to put a fighter up for it. It's very clear, yeah? He's going to get his number, no doubt, yeah? But it's not going to be, I mean, if I'm to guess a number, it's probably going to be non-disclosed, maybe a couple of $100 million. And off he goes. He's done with the sport. But the question is, does Eddie join this? That's what we need to wait to see now. Yeah, is Eddie going to go toe-to-toe with Turki Al-Sheikh and Dana White, for that matter? And everyone's starting to come out the woodwork. Everyone from the US are now starting to get public and vocal. You know, so the handbags are out. The divorce is imminent. And now we just got to see how this plays out. And this is what it was always about. It's always about the money. And it was always about the betrayal from the front, not the fighter. Conor Benn was just a kid who got caught in the crosshairs temporarily. Yeah, we're all going to forget about him in another 24 hours. It's game over with that. Next thing I do want to talk about, and not in this episode, but we're going to pick up on this, is my man Money Mayweather. Is this guy broke or what? What is this guy thinking about? Fighting, number one, Mike Tyson, and two, what is he doing going back in the ring against Manny Pacquiao? People of my age watched that fight many years ago when they were past their prime and they had that fight. And that was where it should have been left. Now what they're going to do? Get back in the ring together. Who cares to see it? It's going to be a nonsense fight. It's going to be a disappointing fight. We're going to see two old men who are way past their prime, now getting in the ring for a payday. It feels like Mayweather is chasing the cash. I get it, the dog is always going to be in you, but you're taking a Tyson fight, you're taking a Pacquiao fight. Mayweather's always in that gym training, and there's a lot on him at the moment saying the guy's broke. Anyway, not for today, but remember, like I said, Frank Warren was leaving the sport. Frank Warren's clearly now looking for the payday. Now he's been jilted, you know, he's a disgruntled ex-wife now going through that divorce, and now eyes are heavily on Eddie Hearn. Does he or doesn't he go after the money with Frank Warren? Let's see the cut of his cloth now. Let's see what his outlook is on boxing. Because if he joins up with that, then you may as well hand over boxing to Turki Al-Sheikh and Dana White. Because we've lost it at that point. There is no more UK boxing promoters. As always, guys, you heard it here first. And always remember, hands up, chins down. Till next time.